feel like Eddie Karo is our first player with a jacket, which is a great choice because it's cold.
Dean Hergott, awesome. Welcome, Dean. So look, my suspicion was correct. It is for Ottawa.
Kamar, could you show the board? Yay.
Dean says he should add that chess boxing is a real thing, so Scrabble boxing wouldn't be so far behind. Cool. Yeah, Dean actually used to play chess for a number of years at a fairly high competitive level, and eventually moved over to Scrabble. I imagine, Dean, you must have been following the World Chess Championship with great interest while that was happening the last month. Really, it's interesting that there was so many ties, and it went down to a tiebreaker, which was by time controls. So essentially, who was the better blitz chess player decided the World Championship this year. So Magnus Carlsen won over Fabiano Caruana in tiebreaker.
I feel like you almost got that right.
I'm pretty sure I did.
You said tie instead of draw, and then you said blitz instead of rapid.
Okay, I didn't use the correct official words. There you go. This is why I do Scrabble, not chess.
Conrad's playing the highest scoring bingo of Eugenol.
Do we have the scores on right? Or
oh, I'm sorry. I thought you got the players.
yeah, so it should be Conrad with the bingo here. That's better. Nice start for Conrad. It looks like Etta's lined up a very high scoring option for him, and that's Wiesent.
Great play. I've seen his best by a lot. Jesse, talk about Conrad, his extra type.
That's fair. I'm obviously a little bit biased and invested in the outcome of this match because Conrad's one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
We've spent a lot of time playing Scrabble together on ISC. We first met in person back in 2005, I believe it was. Yes, because his first nationals was that year. He didn't play in the 2004 one, so we've known each other for quite a while now. Lots of laughs and tears together, and we've grown up together playing Scrabble and talking about things. So I am very invested in the outcome of this match. But it's great that Conrad already happens to be one of the very best people here, and is self-deprecating sometimes with his word knowledge and ability, but his strategic acumen is second to none. One of the strongest strategists we have in the room here, certainly.
Yeah, so previous North America champion. He looks like Ben Folds. That's a weird play. Maybe he wasn't sure of Wiesent.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
possible.
He's trying to set up the Z, but that doesn't really set up the Z. I mean, that's...
Both of us on ISC, our main usernames were related to a different sport. So for me, I used Soccer Guy when I was on ISC as my main handle, and he was Tennis. So instead of tennis with the S at the end, he had the Z at the end of his word. Oddly enough, Conrad is not really a fan of watching tennis so much. He enjoyed playing, but I went to the US Open to watch the tennis championships this year with Wilma. You may remember as an Australian tournament Scrabble director, but that wasn't really so much an interesting thing for Conrad. He was happy for me that I went, but I got to see him in San Francisco before flying over there, and I came right back the next night and flew back to Canada. So yeah, Conrad's username was Tennis, but not so much interested in watching tennis. Let's see, Noah has Jarp as a suggestion. Puneet mentions Rioja underneath of Eugenol, and yeah, I like Rioja.
Yeah. In a sim of Edo's last play, Wiesand wins by quite a lot. And second is ads on the triple ADZE. But I guess he wasn't sure of Wiesand.
Zuglia asks, does anyone know why Etta has long fingernails on his left hand but not his right? Perhaps he's a guitarist? It's possible. I never actually noticed that. I don't find myself staring at fingernails very often, so you've seen something I have not. Josh asks, what does Conrad think about Nigerian Scrabble? Well, we can certainly ask him at some point in time. I believe in general Conrad is quite confident in his strategic ability up against just about anybody.
Somehow Etta did draw a big Z play alongside Dia, which is intriguing. I mean, that works out well. But because he left EU on his last rack, even with this big play, it leaves a not great leave.
Conrad's in a little bit of trouble here, holding all consonants, no vowels.
There's no choice but to exchange.
Rebecca asks, prank or exchange? I think I'm exchanging here. Prank leaving TVT. I don't see that as worth playing for so little. As Conrad's changing all but RT, I think that's fairly reasonable.
Yep.
Pretty solid so far. Haven't really had any thing to say about Conrad's plays so far, other than nice.
Been obvious.
Avery suggests torque for Etta on the other side.
Yeah, torque is nice.
Looks like he's going for Tef instead, underneath of Rioja.
Yeah, Quackle loves Tef. It's quite a clever play. Why do you think Tef is so good?
I'm just trying to look at the board right now. He obviously has a spot for quad off of the AD, but that is interesting.
Probably more around there's no other good options, right? Like torque is, I mean, the leave is bad, and it gives lots of hooks that Conrad can use. Tef probably going to have unflexible future, but there's not a whole lot of places for Conrad to go, and the places that Conrad can go are going to open up a lot of triples, like if he plays next to ads. It's really good intuition by Etta. That's impressive.
Jeremy points out, poor Conrad. Yeah, it's certainly not ideal. Keep RT to pick up 2 more R's. And I.
Do you think we'll play opening playing the triple.
He does have that lined up right now, Tyro and Rad and Ode. It does seem like he's considering that. Whether he plays Tori or Tyro or Roti on the top left, all of them accomplish the same thing in that he leaves himself a hook to play an R, being ride or road. So he's kind of made a fork up on the top left. Before his play, it was not really a bingo line available there. But
yeah, Kenji points out Royalier, which might be best. Quackle definitely likes it, leaving IRT. It seems like he probably missed it, eh?
Yeah, it's very possible. The other thing with Royalier is leave is certainly better. It's 10 points fewer. I think if Conrad did see it, maybe he would try to justify the points. But yeah, Royalier does look better as far as leave. And
at the very least, Conrad has... Oh, he's lined up retreat.
it's a lovely French word.
And at the very least, if that's blocked, he has retorter. Oof.
Oh, he can still play it. That'll work just fine.
Wow. Wow.
So for any of the French speakers in the room, retraite is used to refer to retirement. You'll say bon retraite.
Huh.
Something similar.
Yeah, it doesn't look to be anything better than Bond. It's a nice play. Wow, this is a cool sequence.
So nice go for Conrad, wasting no time. Etta's got a quittal.
Ooh. Or aquatic, right? He's aquatic for a huge score.
Oh wow, yeah.
Ooh.
Oh boy,
This is a great game.
this one's gonna
This
hurt.
is but it's gonna be a. I love it. What a game!
It's beautiful. Conrad's not gonna be happy. That's huge.
It's 128.
Oh, that's painful. Oh, Conrad's pulled the blank. ERSL. He's gonna bingo back. Ooh.
Double? What is his letters? He also has scleros. Is that a word?
Wow. Oh, this is going to be exciting. Wow. Wow. Yes,
Woohoo!
and the chat concurs that scleros is a word coming up. Wow, what a game.
Whoa. Don't miss scleros. Don't have another American bingo triple miss.
Rebecca points out scleros is 140.
It's so many. Now we hope that Etta can draw a bingo. Please draw a bingo, Etta.
Puneet, the previous triple miss was from Dave Weekend. There was an open V and he missed post dive.
With a blank P. And he told us after the game that he thought of dive words, but then
Didn't see the post part, so yeah, a whiff from Dr. Bing on that one. He made up for it by going out with a 10.
Yeah. I won't have a bingo, but stuff to work with. Scleros is not easy to spot, and then it's also a word you might become unsure of if you haven't studied it in a while. What does scleros mean?
I would imagine it has to do with the sclera inside of your eye, but OSC, I imagine it's just a variation of the OUS ending for the adjectival form of.
No, but scleros is a verb, right?
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
From sclerosis.
Oh, look,
Oh,
Cake
no.
says Jason Katz-Brown's food sounds are amplified more than he thinks.
I'm sorry.
That's part of why I usually try not to eat on stream, because I'm conscious that you can probably hear me chomping. I'm self-conscious, guys.
He's done it.
Here it comes. Attaboy, Conrad. Nice play. Ed has got his hands crossed.
He'll probably get
Not
5.
happy.
Do you think he'll get 5 points?
It's a triple, and when you're playing a team event and you want to win and be sure, if you're even slightly unsure, then you're going to challenge. And why not, right? You're not going to lose your turn. It's just 5 points.
The reason not to is it's going to be a close game.
And yeah, Brenjam, I remembered sclerosis as a multiple sclerosis. I wasn't sure if it was going to pertain to that as well. It sounds like it does. And yeah, if there's an osis usually, then otic tends to be the ending.
Yeah, I don't.
Ooh, 9-timer. Yes, thank you, Kumar. Otosclerosis, I imagine that has to do with the ear.
Interesting choice of here of KON, KIN, or KINO alongside scleros. CINS is probably the best leave, but if you're creating that lane with overlapping NE, the I doesn't go there, obviously. So that's a good reason to keep the O. So yeah, it looks like he's thinking about which to play. Another option would be and I guess the reason not to play KINO is that the pool is relatively consonant heavy. There's 13 vowels in the unseen and 24 consonants.
Conrad's picking up his letters here. Oh, they look pretty good. Yes.
Ooh, wow.
Diasoil. Isolate. Yes, he's got bingos.
Do they play?
Diasoil plays on the E in scleros if nothing's taken there.
Right, and even after a con, it should play.
It's going to be a back-to-back.
Oh, is he thinking about non-sec?
That would be a nice break for Conrad. That will be coming off in 2 seconds if he puts that down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Diasoil should be coming here quite shortly. Nice draw, Conrad. Also nice play.
Yeah. Quackle has KIN and KON is almost exactly the same.
Here comes Diasoil. He's putting it down fast.
Oh, we had one other bingo.
Yes, the chat actually found it.
Nice.
James Curley mentioned the 9, and Rebecca types out dialogize.
Very nice.
Third bingo in a row. Yes, if I were Etta, I would be perturbed by that for sure. So I have a fun little story for you, since you asked for Conrad stories. I see Orad on the board, and there was a birthday Conrad had in November once in Seattle. He and Nigel Pelletier were going to be celebrating their birthdays jointly at an event happening there that weekend. I believe it was when there was still the Emerald City Cup happening there. So I visited for the weekend, and we went to the Cheesecake Factory to get a cake. And I asked them to put on Happy Birthday Conrad and Nigel on the cake. And I thought I was pretty clear in what I asked them to put on the cake. And there were a couple of Latinos that I was talking to when giving the order for the cake. And I didn't look at the cake order when I picked it up. I assumed it was correct. I took it to the apartment, and I open it up, and I look at the cake, and in writing they have Happy Birthday Corad E. Nigul. So they put C-O-R-A-D, and then Y, which is the Spanish word for and then Nigel spelled the way you would probably spell it in Spanish to make the same sort of sound. Instead of N-I-G-E-L, they put N-I-G-U-L on the cake. So then it became a thing where they jokingly said that I intentionally misspelled names on the cake. So as a bit of revenge later on, when it was my turn for a birthday, I turned 25, and our friend James Leong put on Happy 50th Birthday Jesse with an I-E spelling on the cake. So a little bit of a fun story for you there. I was thinking about it because I saw Orad on the board and noticed that Etta had a C in his rack, and it's like, Corad, that reminds me of that story.
Good story. Meta doesn't have a lot of exciting options here. You can play like Kang through Aquatic. You could drop UG somewhere.
So it looks like Kang is coming down through the A in Aquatic.
Mm-hmm.
Craig points out, playing kin over con, the difference between a bonus or not on this occasion. Terry Kang Rao says maybe Conrad won't mind being on the featured board anymore. Yeah, that's possible. He still mentioned he'd prefer not to be on, but yeah, on this occasion in particular, he's doing just fine. I'm a fan of Yop or U in that spot that he's just had opened up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good idea to block that.
How many let's see, 2 M's and an N in the bag?
The X goes there too.
And X as well, yeah.
Don't want to get hit with Xylogen.
Yeah, that would be painful. And we're consonant heavy, so I think if I were to do something shorter like U or Yop, I'd prefer Yop just because it uses one more consonant.
Yeah.
Quack also suggesting payout using the E in Kang to play longer.
That set up an X. Oh, it doesn't set up an X. Oh, it kind of does.
It does actually.
Nix or Nix.
Yeah. So I think I'd probably not play payout just because of that. I think I would do Yop if I were to play down there.
Mm-hmm. Good thinking.
And let's see in the chat. Avery Mojica says bag is really, really constant heavy, so Yop over U. I think, yeah, that's our thought as well. Wooden collar used to punish criminals in China. Also Kang. Interesting. Dylan Early asks, is Etta's method of drawing legal? He holds the bag really low. That's a good question. I actually haven't been really watching the way he's drawing. And again, my default knowledge rules-wise is North American, where the bag should be above eye level and your gaze should be averted. My gaze is always averted just so there's no misunderstanding in case the bag is too low for someone's liking. I believe tactically the bag is supposed to be above eye level and your gaze should be averted. And the chat concurs, it does look a little odd looking away, however, he is doing. Conrad spending a fair bit of time in this rack. He's got Yop lined up, and ultimately he's going to go for that. I think it's a great play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Takes care of the imminent threat of the X.
Yeah.
Gets rid of 2 consonants, still keeping 2 vowels as he draws into a consonant-heavy bag. Nice play. And yes, Rebecca mentions the most important thing when drawing is that you are looking away, gaze averted. Other nice thing with ought is yop, pardon me, is that it blocks the hook on ort with an S. I believe Etta actually was looking to play horals in that spot to ort.
Yeah.
And that's no longer an option. Conrad draws all consonants on his play here, so nice foresight.
Etta has some plays overlapping Diasoil. Score pretty well.
Yeah, Howell's still going to score a fair bit there, and that's the one he's going to do.
It's 36, and then he's only down by 683. So still basically drawing dead.
So if you're Conrad here, in an ideal world, you're going to be able to score without using a vowel, but if you do use one, it should be only 1 and not 2. There is a Y left, so tomb has been spotted on the second last row, but bywords and anything ending in a Y is giving easy points away. Det is pointed out underneath of Ventil. That accomplishes scoring and doesn't give anything back.
Yeah, there's 7 in the bag, so 4 tile play is okay. Maybe, given that tough to play 5 tiles. Although one option is Bovate to the Eye of Rioja to block that line.
In the chat, Shrimpy has been pointed out at Karo's rack. But I don't know if there's a spot. I don't think so.
Bummer.
Avery Mojica asks if a moved is bad, playing down from the A from Rioja. Well, I understand what you're trying to do there as far as blocking the last really viable lane besides whoever has the A in for anode, but I'm not sure if it's worth giving up that many points.
Seems fine. I think almost all the moves win all the time, so I mean, I think most productively you try to think about how you can lose this game, and I don't even see much in the way of bingo starting with A. Oh, it's like airship.
Airships, I guess, would be the bad one there.
Yeah, in terms of ways to lose, it'd be like a bingo and then a huge X play, and then you not drawing any more vowels.
Yeah, the other issue with the moved Avery is just with so few vowels in the bag, you're stuck in a really bad situation if you pull a bad set of consonants out the bag. So moved, while yes it does block the board, could turn into an ugly endgame.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm not really worried about the anodes lane because almost all the plays there would, any bingo there would give probably a large score to come back and would give you a lot of endgame flexibility because you'd be able to play there first. Yeah, I think most importantly here would be to keep a vowel to prevent the disaster scenarios of like drawing F, G, P, Y, and then
Yeah, some ugly combination like that.
I mean, honestly, Tomb seems pretty reasonable to keep. There's no E's left to draw, and so keeping that E is quite nice. And then there's not too much that's going to hurt you in terms of Y plays down below.
Probably just my in this case, because if you are ETA and you have the A, you're going to want to keep it for the anode hook
Exactly.
on the top. So I guess Tomb isn't that's bad in that case. It's probably just my and by if you're going to be worried about a comeback play there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just plays down like NIMBY, using the B and Tomb after. That could happen, but it's inconsequential if you're up by enough.
Exactly.
Conrad taking his time to ponder all the different scenarios here. He's got debt lined up. It's nice. So a move has been shot up to the very top of the list as a apparently 99.7% chance of winning. I guess it's not concerned about getting stuck. Conrad's playing debt, which is, in the end, probably, if I had spotted it in the Conrad's shoes, I'd probably play that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nice.
So remember, you don't.
Really can't complain about anything Conrad's done this game. It's been outstanding.
Yeah, you can't complain about anything Ed has done either.
Yeah, on his side of the board, it's been excellent as well. Just maybe, nothing really. Can't think of anything. Just there was the mention. Con over Kin would have left a bonus, but they basically simmed about even,
They
right?
simmed the same, and there's reasons to play both.
Oh wow, Conrad has a moving and anode. He's pulled a bingo. That's amazing.
That's ridiculous. Wow. It looks like Eda's high scoring play is Prism Me. That's nice. Prism Me doesn't compare. Oh, you're right. DL was wrong. That was one mistake. Good point out by the chat. Astrotype.
Avery Mojica says, so we established that CQTU and MOV are fantastic leaves.
Yes.
In this game, yes, they are. I think when you, in all seriousness, when you look at leaves, sometimes, yes, it is nice to have a balanced rack, but I think this is more evidence that, yes, draws can go wrong, but they don't always, and taking the points is not always bad.
Mm-hmm.
Conrad's got, oh my god, lined up on his rack. As someone mentions, he's trolling. Oh my god, Ivan. I think he'd be happier if it was, oh my god, Evan or Evans.
Is Conrad gonna get 600? No, I guess.
Well,
Ed
Etta
will
gets
play
X
short.
stuck.
He probably won't play 3 tiles though.
The chat mentions that Conrad had Mola Jin lined up first. Yeah, he's just playing with us all. Now back into alphagram form. Conrad's already spotted it. I can tell by looking at him. He's just waiting, bored.
Yeah. I mean, he lined it up at one point.
Yeah. And yes, Avery, that was my thought as well. I'm moving is 75. Etta will likely get the X, so there's a chance Conrad will get 600. Yeah. Very possible. If you're Etta, you gotta think here, how do I even have a chance at winning this game?
Oh, like if going back to the beginning?
Well, I'm looking at Etta right now, like in this position, he's down by 110 something.
It's very clear there's no chance of winning this game.
Zuglia says, any chance of Mai and Ebony? Well, I guess if you're trying to limit spread and you really think your opponent has the A, then you could think about it, but nah, I don't think so.
I mean, you could. You could play Melty, play the M and the Y there, and then if the S is in the bag, Airship might be. And he draws AI, Airship might be unblockable. But like, all these things don't help you win the game.
Yes, Rebecca. Sound effects are in the bag. He's going to play Prism or Prismy, it looks like.
modified prism. Oh, is that the Y for prismy? Clever. Although I don't know if... I certainly didn't know that word. I wonder if he does. Oh, and then he'll go out with moving. Oh, it's a massive.
So that's
far above 600.
600.
618 to 426.
Wow.
Wow.
Etta just shaking his head and smiling. Lucas says, Puda thunk it after aquatic. Dang. Yeah, Etta was looking pretty good after aquatic, but then Conrad with the lovely scleros as a second of 3 bingos in a row. So we'll see if Jason was able to get Conrad. I do see Conrad coming in. Bit of a sheepish grin on his face as he walks on in. Hi, Conrad.
Hi. Do I have to put on a thing?
No, this is just whenever we have someone calling in to do guest commentary, so no need for a headset.
How did I screw up?
You didn't. You basically played a perfect game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which was beautiful to watch.
Beautiful to watch.
Sweet. I almost screwed up massively.
It
took me 4 minutes to find scleros.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, you got to be sure, right? After aquatic, it's like normally when you play something like that, you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, so I screwed up my last game because I played too fast and missed a valid bingo that I immediately saw afterwards. And I was totally on tilt this game, like at the beginning. And I'm pretty sure that if that hadn't happened, I would not have looked long enough. I learned from my mistake. I don't think I would have come up with scleros. As soon as I saw it, I was 1,000% sure it was good. I think it's a verb, but
Yeah, it is. And then someone mentioned to ask you about Roylier versus Tyro on the turn when you played Tyro.
One option was... This is the only potential mistake you made, but they're pretty really close.
I mean, I kind of just like scoring. I think that IRT is pretty overrated on this board because the board's terrible. So I'd rather force it open a bit more and take 10 points. There's only 2 more R's left. I can see the appeal of playing it maybe in a different situation, but I think I like the points here.
Sweet. That was pretty much what I concluded would have been your reason if you were deciding between them. So yay!
Yeah. I think the one play I agonized over was dead at the end.
Yeah, we saw for a little bit of time we were looking between that and...
So the problem is he still has Panmixia unseen, and after Aquatic, what are the odds that he draws Panmixia and I lose? So I considered a move. Actually, it was the other play I was considering. I didn't put it on my rack, but I was just worried that that was the draw that I saw that could maybe lose, but I ultimately thought that Det even might be able to outrun it because it scores, 120, and it's pretty much a tie game. And so I ultimately decided, because we need to get spread on Nigeria, that it was worth going for the spread.
Sweet.
And then I drew a moving anyway.
Which was hilarious.
And yes, I saw it instantly. I was just trolling the stream.
That was what we gathered as well. I was like, Conrad's already seen it.
Were my racks visible?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
All of the iterations behind your rack, they were.
Good.
Yes.
All right. Any other things?
Any thoughts? This is your first time on the...
Asphyxia. Yeah, I mean, that would have been bad too. Asphyxia would have been even worse.
This is your first time on the top board. Do you have any other thoughts you want to share?
I'm glad I didn't embarrass my team. So I'm really rusty.
Well, it certainly didn't show in this game.
Oh, thank goodness.
Who do you have next?
I have no idea.
Fair enough. One game at a time.
Yeah.
I'll let you have a quick break then before you get ready for your next game.
Sweet.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, and this was, I guess, the decider, so we won the round 3-2, and I think maybe Australia lost finally.
Well done. That would put you in the lead.
Oh, tied again.
Oh, weren't you level?
No, I lost our round last game.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so this was redemption.
Sweet.